Which prospects will be selected among the top 100 picks? We're predicting those players today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins. And we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to issue a big thank you, shout out, and welcome to our everydayers. Those of you who make Locked On NFL Scouting your first listen every day, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase.
Joe, it's that time of year. Predict the top 100s. We were well performing in this exercise with the Huddle Report last year. We would like to create a improved performance on last year's third place finish. Tied for third place finish. Tied for, I guess technically there were people tied for second and first. So I think we were tied for 8th overall, but third highest score.
Third highest score, yeah. So we had 84 out of 100 last year. We'd love to do better. We would. And so today on this episode, we are going to work through predicting which players will be picked among the top 100. So that's our objective, not necessarily in order. It's how many we get that are actually picked in the top 100. Usually this takes us a long time, like a really long time.
Yeah, that's probably a mistake.
Yeah, we're going to try to cram a lot into a little bit of time here. And we at least have the framework done individually. So we're going to cross-reference and settle on this literally right now.
I'll say, Joe, if we get to a disaster situation, people will probably see like a blip in the production in like the 28 to 30 minute mark. And it's because we had to pause and off air to finalize the list and then come back with
okay.
Finalize.
Good idea. If we need to, we hit the pause button and come back. All right.
So if you guys see a jump between 28 and 30 minutes, you guys know what happened.
All right, let's do it.
First thing we're going to do is we're going to go over Stone Cold Locks by position. The players that you and I can come to a consensus agreement. Yes, these players are going to go in the top 100.
Okay.
Starting with quarterbacks, I think there's 7.
Okay.
It's Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, Drake Maye, Penix, Michael Penix, Spencer Rattler.
Lock it in. I don't think there's any more. I think that's the whole conversation with quarterbacks. We can close the book.
I would be inclined to agree with you. That's a nice start. That gives us 7 players. Okay, that's almost. I'm not a math guy, but that's 7% of the top 100.
Yeah,
we got
well done.
Right.
Yeah, we can handle this math.
Running backs, don't get too used to it because now we're going to start adding numbers together. I feel pretty good about probably 3 guys. I think there's room for more, but I can't.
I'm coming in with 4 that I feel good about. Stone Cold Locks is where it gets really tough, though.
Yep. All right, so let's do the Stone Cold Locks. Trey Benson, right?
Trey Benson, stud, friggin' stud.
Jonathan Brooks is probably the next most talented running back,
right?
But there's a medical flag,
right?
I don't think he falls out of he'd be healthy. He'd be a 2nd-round pick, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably with low mileage,
right?
So you're going to count him? Think he falls to the 3rd?
I'm comfortable leaving him in.
Okay. Blake Corum?
I have him in.
I have a hard time seeing him out.
Yeah.
Now, you going to say Jalen Wright?
I do have Jalen Wright. I mean, I know he's not a perfect prospect, but size and speed is for sure there.
Yeah, the ball security is really not inspiring.
He's a fringe one for me. I felt good about those 3. He's the 4th one.
All right, so I'll put question marks, and then when segment 2, we'll get into like pros and cons of some of the fringe guys and see what else we come up with. So that's 3. That's 10. quarterbacks and running backs that we have as stone cold locks. We might get half of the remaining numbers at wide receiver, but let's go ahead and give it a whirl.
Okay.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yep.
Malik Nabers.
Yep.
Odunze.
Yep.
Xavier Leggett.
Yep.
Ryan Thomas Jr.
Yep.
Xavier Worthy.
Yep.
Lad McConkey.
Yep.
Ricky Pearsall.
Yep.
I have Adonai Mitchell.
Yep. I
have Jalen McMillan.
Oh, you think that's a stone cold lock?
I do, but if you have hesitation, so we're not going to do it.
He's in my He's in my bullpen.
Keon Coleman.
Yeah.
Jalen Polk.
Yeah, I have him.
Okay. How about Roman Wilson?
Yep.
Corley.
Yep.
That's kind of where I think the locks stop.
You don't Tez Walker? No.
I don't know that he's a lock. I'd rather have McMillan than Tez Walker, but I'm open to whatever conversation.
Yeah, it's just, but it's not who we would. When you say we'd rather have, are you telling me who you value more or who you predictively think?
All of this is predictive.
Okay, all right.
So it's not my evaluation at all. It's as far as if you told me one of them was going to get into the top 100, I lean McMillan, but I'm willing to have the conversation when the road gets there.
Okay, and you didn't have Malik Washington in this either, which I'm cool with that.
Yeah. And I didn't have Jermaine Burton, who, from a talent perspective, belongs here, but
right.
Don't get the warm and fuzzies about anybody who's talked about his profile off the field.
Do you have Troy Franklin? I don't think I heard that name.
Oh, it's a good call. He was off my short list because I'm not the biggest fan. Right. So thank you. That's why we do this together. Javon Baker in consideration as well.
Yeah, I have him in the bullpen.
And I think Troy Franklin's a pretty good lock to be put in as a stone cold lock.
Okay, so for stone cold locks at receiver, does that put us at 14?
That's yes.
Okay.
14.
All right. Making sure we're
so that gives us 24 names.
Yep. 20.
Off to the start.
Yep. 24. That's very
24.
good.
24.
We can get through tight end here, I'm sure.
I think tight end's a pretty short conversation.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers.
Yes.
I think Ben Sinnott is a lock, top 100.
Okay.
I think Jatavian Sanders, the top 100 lock. Yep. I think Theo Johnson's probably the last name I would really go to bat for here.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. The other two in the bullpen for me, Jared Wiley, TCU, and Cade Stover.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something to be said for this Tanner McLaughlin, mostly because out of nowhere it felt like Daniel Jeremiah starts hyping him up.
But then he also came out and was like, he ended up as like my tight end 3 and like.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's worth noting.
It is worth noting.
So we have those 4, Bauer, Sinnott, Sanders, and Johnson, with Wiley and Stover in the bullpen.
Yes.
Okay.
Offensive tackle. You want to go?
Yeah, go ahead. Do it.
I mean, do you want to go? But that's fine. I'll go.
Yeah.
Joe Alt.
Yep.
Olu Fashanu. Yes?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. J.C. Latham.
Yep.
Troy Faltanu.
Yep.
Amarius Mims.
Yes.
Talise Fuaga, who I'm going to click even though I have him in interior offensive line. Tyler Guyton.
Yep.
Jordan Morgan.
Yes.
Roger Rosen.
Yep.
Roger Rosengarten. Patrick Paul.
Yep.
Kingsley Suama'atia.
Yep.
Amagache.
Yeah.
Blake Fisher.
Those I had those 2 as well. Yeah. I mean,
okay, cool.
Length and athleticism at tackle, man. Like, we know it gets drafted in the top 100.
That's 14. 13, sorry.
13.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we're humming along, and we're going to continue to hum along here in just a moment, focusing in on interior offensive line and defense. So be sure to stick with us. Folks, you shouldn't have to worry when you're looking to buy tickets for your next big event. Well, you don't have to, because Game Time is here for you. And it's a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. They have killer deals on last-minute tickets, which I love. That's like my favorite thing about Game Time is whether you kind of your availability changes or you're not sure if you want to buy tickets when an event is announced, you can rely on Game Time to give you those deals on last-minute tickets right up until the day of the event. They also give you all-in prices, a view from your seat, and a best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. The app is awesome. It's super easy to navigate. Plus, the flash deals are super cool as well. So snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNFL. That's LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Joe, I would like you to confirm the number of names that you currently have us accounted for.
Through offensive tackle, I have us with a total of 41.
Okay, good. We're on the same page. I just know you and I, spreadsheets, math, that could get really fuzzy. So wanted to mind our P's and Q's.
All right.
Interior offensive line. I think there's probably 5 I feel really good about.
Okay, I have 6 that I feel good about. So that's we're in a good spot.
Graham Barton, Zach Frazier, Jackson Powers Johnson, Christian Haynes, Cooper Beebe.
Yeah, and the other one for me was Dominic Puny out of Kansas.
Really good athletic testing, played tackle, probably destined to play inside. Sounds like you got a little bit of look at center. So there's some positional flexibility there. I am fine putting him down.
Okay.
Should give us 47 names on the offensive side of the ball. So let's call our shot. Are we going to have to cut names off, or are we going to have to add names from the fringe?
We're going to add some from the fringe. I think we're going to add some receivers and maybe a tight end.
Okay. Do you think we're going to get a little leaner here on the defensive side of the ball? Let's find out.
Well, the impossible thing is going to be sorting through the corners and safeties. Let's just be honest. That's where it really gets really weird. So hopefully you have some convictions there.
Okay. Let's do the edge group, because
right.
I know I have some convictions there.
Real quick, do you want to have Darius Robinson and Brandon Dorlus? Where do you want to put them? Edge or IDL for the purposes of this?
Darius Robinson in the edge group.
Okay.
Brandon Dorlus, IDL group.
Okay. All right. Very good.
So Jared Verse, Leatu Latu, Dallas Turner, Chop Robinson.
Yep.
Darius Robinson.
Yep.
Austin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Muhammad Kamara.
I have him down.
Okay. Marshawn Nealon.
Yep.
I can't get there with Braylon Trice, man. It's just such a weird.
No, I know. So no, there's 4 guys. There's 4 guys that are in the I can't get there, but I think they're probably going to go. And it's Adisa Isaac, Chris Braswell, Jonah Ellis, and Braylon Trice. Like, I have them down. I wouldn't do it, but I think they're going.
I think the one that can profile the best is probably Ellis, because he's got some pass rush variety and he's got a good first step and he's can bend off the edge. The Alabama pedigree for Braswell, I think, is real. So I'm cool with that. So it's Isaac, and then the 4th one was who? Trice?
Trice, yeah.
Can we put question marks on him and come back?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I think if you want to say he's Curtis Weaver 2.0 in every imaginable way, like, I'm here for that. I totally get it. But
it scares the heck out of me.
I feel like, dude, I can't
look. And Curtis Weaver went in the 5th round. Like, exactly. Curtis Weaver was a consensus top 50, top 60 player that entire pre-draft process. And we got through the draft, and everybody said, I can't believe Curtis Weaver fell to the 5th round. He got cut by his team in training camp.
Right. And then didn't last long anywhere else either. I think Braylon Trice is very much like that. I can't open a top 100 right now without seeing Braylon Trice. I can open yours and I can open mine and I don't see him, but
you can't open a top 100 and not see Braylon Trice in the top 50 picks.
Yeah.
In the top 50 spots. So leave him and come back.
Okay.
Interior defensive line.
Yep.
We think Byron Murphy, Johnny Newton, Chris Jenkins, Braden Fisk, Michael Hall, Brandon Dorless,
Rook.
Rook's
going.
Mason Smith.
I have him in the bullpen.
Okay, then we'll leave him in the bullpen for now. That's totally fine.
Devondre
Anybody
Sweat.
up? Man, I just think the drum beat's too hard that he's not, from the weight stuff and then the DWI.
Those are not great things, Kyle Crabbs.
Right.
Okay, you want me to pull him down? Because right now I have him in, but it's
Leave
not
him in the bullpen.
Leave him in the bullpen. Welcome to the bullpen, Devondre Sweat.
Which I believe that now leaves us at 64 players. Is what I have us at.
That's not great. I have 65. So what happened here?
Oh boy.
Did you have Rook? So IDL, I have Murphy, Newton, Jenkins, Hall, Rook, Dorless, Fiske.
Murphy, Newton, Hall, Dorless, Rook, Jenkins, Fisk.
Okay, maybe we got off track on edge. I have Letu, Turner, Verse, Chop, Nealand, Kamara, Booker, Robinson, Braswell, Ellis, and Isaac.
We're back. Joe had a decent Isaac from Penn State temporarily in. We're going to leave him in the bullpen and go from there. So we're at 64 through interior defensive line, which now gives us a chance to go to linebacker. And we don't got a lot of names here, Joe. We can go Junior Colson and Edge Cooper.
Yeah, I think those are for sure.
Peyton Wilson probably goes by the top 100 regardless of the medicals. At some point, the reward's going to be worth the risk.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember us talking linebackers in years past, but this has been traditionally like a really weird group. I remember doing the live stream last year and looking at the 3-year average of linebackers, and it's usually about 8 or 9 that go top 100 to stack off all linebackers. Right now we have 3.
In the bullpen for me is Jeremiah Trotter, Cedric Gray, and Trevin Wallace.
I'm kind of inclined to put all of them just because there's a volume component that
we need them.
To be less than half predictively versus a 5-year track record is a pretty significant fall off. So I'd say we put them all in just based off of historical trends. And then if we do need to get to the cutting board, we maybe come back to those 3.
Yeah. Do you have any bullpens to bring up?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't either. It's like Ulafosio, Tommy Eichenberg. I don't think so, right? Right.
Bertrand from Notre Dame. That's the bullpen. Jalen Ford. That's the bullpen.
All right, now for the hard part, man. I think it's corners and safeties every year. So,
all right. Well, the good news is we got 6 there, so that gives us 70. Now, I think we could probably get. You could make an argument for probably 20 corners. So we might fill this up pretty quick. Let's go.
Let's do it. Yeah, I have 15 right now. So
okay, we'll go Quinyon Mitchell.
Yep.
Terrion Arnold.
Yep.
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Yep.
Nate Wiggins.
Yep.
Mike Sanderson.
Yep.
Why do you hate Mike Sanderson, by the way?
I don't. Why did you say that?
I saw your Bills board.
Where did I have him?
You had him as a solid 2 and not an early 2, late 1.
Oh, God. Moving on.
TJ Tampa, Iowa State.
Yep.
Max Melton, Rutgers.
Yep.
Ennis Rakestraw, Missouri.
Yep.
Renardo Green, Florida State.
Yes.
Cam Hart, Notre Dame.
Sure. I'll pull him up.
I did put him into the Chiefs in round 3 and
for sure. In. Right. Yeah. That's a good call.
Chiefs guy through and through. Kamari Lassiter, Georgia.
Yes.
Chris Abrams, Drain, Missouri.
Yes.
Those Missouri corners were fun, weren't they?
Very much. Yes, I enjoyed them.
It's the instincts element of the game that they played at a really high level. So I have Elijah Jones, Boston College.
So do I.
Great. I think that's 13. So who are the other two that you had?
I don't think you said Rakestraw. I'm so sorry if you did. I might have missed it. Okay. I had Decameron Richardson.
The Mississippi State kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that puts, if you were to say yes there, that puts us at 16.
I did not do Decameron Richardson, so I'm going to trust your gut. But that would put us at 14.
That would put us at 14.
Yes.
Okay, I have 16. Oh, okay, I also have DJ James. Did you have him?
I had him in the bullpen.
Okay.
So I'm totally fine just from a corner's perspective hearing that out.
And Andrew Phillips?
It's a good call. Drew Phillips.
Okay. So that would be the 16 now that I have.
Which gives us a grand total of 86 players with safeties yet to do.
Okay. All right. Safeties and finalizing this thing coming up in just a moment, so be sure to stick with us. It's playoff time in the NBA and NHL. Baseball's in full swing, and FanDuel is your place to bet on every game. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. It's $150 win or lose. You can bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Have you ever considered what you would do if you had an extra hour in your day? Would you exercise, read, spend time with a loved one, maybe catch up on some sleep? A lot of us spend our lives wishing we had more time. The question is, time for what? If time was unlimited, how would you use it? Well, the best way to squeeze that special thing into your schedule is to know what's important to you and make it a priority. Therapy can help you find out what matters most to you so you can do more of it. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It's not just for people who've experienced major trauma. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you do is fill out a brief questionnaire. That'll get you matched with a licensed therapist. You can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Learn to make time for what makes you happy with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/lockedon today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon.
Safeties. Cooper DeJean.
Yes.
Let's start there.
Yes.
Javon Bullard, Georgia.
Yeesh.
Jaden Hicks, Washington State.
Yep.
And that's maybe a little bit more the buzz that exists with Jaden Hicks.
Yeah, I think he's going to
go. Tyler Nubin, Minnesota.
Yep.
Who else do you have?
Cole Bishop.
Cole Bishop. Okay. Yep.
Kalen Bullock.
Okay.
And then I in my world, Adrian Taylor Demerson's going in the top 100, but I don't know if in the NFL world he's going to, but I have him in the bullpen.
I'm a little. This is kind of the juncture at a position that historically has been really tough to kind of get a feel for consistently.
Yeah.
About Cam Kinchins.
Oh God, really?
I mean, every large media outlet still has him forecasted day 2.
I think this is Jaquan Johnson all over again, man. But I don't know, man.
You know, that's one of those ones that I don't have a lot of great conviction one way or another. The good news is that gives us 92 names.
Yep, 92. So we get to pull up 8, which is a great spot to be because typically we're having to axe them. Right. So 8 need to go in, Kyle Crabbs.
And let's go ahead and review your bullpen for me so we get the right
okay
names to start the conversation.
My bullpen, running back Jalen Wright.
Okay.
Wide receiver Javon Baker, Jermaine Burton, Jalen McMillan, Devontae Walker, Malik Washington. Feels like there's some names there we can get to. Jared Wiley and Cade Stover at tight end. On the edge, Braylon Trice and Adisa Isaac. Defensive tackle, Mason Smith and Devondre Sweat. Nothing at linebacker. Safety, Adrian Taylor Demerson. I mean, and then at corner, dude, my bullpen is deep. I have Jarvis Brownlee. Have you watched him? A Louisville man. Oh,
yeah, it's a fun player.
Man, the aggressive press corner, man. Kyrie Jackson, Nehemiah Pritchett, Kalen Carson. Those are kind of the bullpen corner names for me.
Okay. I would include, you didn't mention Mason McCormick, right? Or Brandon Coleman.
Those are good bullpen names as well. Yes.
So I would invoke those. Sorry, I'm just kind of scrolling through my list amidst what you had to say. Did you mention Tyke Smith?
I didn't.
I think that's another name worth mentioning here. You mentioned Wiley and Stover at tight end. Any consideration of Johnny Newton top 100?
Johnny, did you mean to say Johnny Newton?
Excuse me, Johnny Wilson.
Okay.
Florida State.
Yes, I do think.
Yeah, Johnny Newton's probably a pretty good bet, Kyle.
Kyle, I'm glad I'm here
Thanks
for
your
you.
contributions to today's show, you idiot.
I guess.
So that
like how you're complicating the bullpen here. Thank you.
Right. Well, I mean, I think we're up over 20 names in the bullpen for 8 spots. So let's start with let's start with premium positions.
Okay.
Edge guys. We had Isaac and
Trice.
I'm more willing to come meet you on Isaac just because Trice does not profile well.
Okay, speaking of profile well, not that I want to complicate things, but Braden McGregor out of Michigan profiles real well. I'm not sure about his football.
Top 100.
Brother.
Dude, you want to play that game, how about Jalix Hunt?
I know. I had him in my bullpen to talk about it, my deeper bullpen, I was number 64 player on Daniel Jeremiah's board. I mean,
can we agree on Odunze Isaac and go to a different position?
Yes, please, God.
Okay. We'll put Isaac on.
Okay.
Premium position corner. I don't know, man. I've seen the journey that Kyrie Jackson has taken to this point. He's played here, there, everywhere. Very little volume of snaps. Top 100. I can't get behind Kyrie Jackson.
That's fine. I'm not going to fight that. Kalen Carson or Nehemiah Pritchett?
Probably more inclined to agree with you on Carson.
Okay. And pull him up?
Yeah, we'll pull him up.
Okay.
So that's 2. So that now gives us 94.
What about these receivers?
What about them?
I mean, I think I can, dude, Javon Baker, Jermaine Burton, Jalen McMillan, Devontae Walker, Malik Washington, Johnny Wilson. We got to bring some of those guys up.
Correct. So how about, I felt good about McMillan. You felt good about Walker. How about we put those 2 on first?
Okay.
Javon Baker's Malik Washington next in line.
Maybe. I mean, yards after catch is a big deal in the NFL right now.
Right. He's just not big. And Baker's big and physical and still wins down the field and wins in slants.
If I could only have one, I'd pick Baker.
Okay, then let's put Baker on.
Okay.
Which gives us 97.
What are we doing about these defensive tackles? Sweating, Mason
Smith. I think Sweat's out.
Okay.
I think there's too many strikes.
Okay, no, we're not having the conversation anymore. It's over for that.
Okay.
Somebody going to do this with Mason Smith? Just pretend like they didn't watch the tape and just looked at his body?
They do it every year, right?
God bless it. Oh, it's gross. He's going to be a Bill.
That's the apprehension, right? Well, you guys don't have a 3rd-round pick or 4th-round pick.
We
have
2 4th-round picks, man. 2 4th-round picks. Okay, we put him in or not? Maybe so. Maybe so.
You take him at 60? No, that would make Joe Marino more mad.
Maybe he's Terrell Bernard this year for me,
I'd be less inclined to put, because we only have 3 spots?
3 spots.
I'd be more inclined to find room for the offensive lineman than Mason Smith.
Okay.
McCormick tested through the roof, and Brandon Coleman has tackle guard flex.
I like both of those names. I like both those names.
Let's put them both on, which gives us 99.
There's Brandon Coleman. I was looking for him on my own list here. Okay. So one more player. We're out on the running backs.
Probably.
No quarterbacks. Some maybes at receiver. Like we have Burton, Wilson, and Washington. These tight ends.
Let's get this out of the way. If character concerns were not a question, Jermaine Burton would be a slam dunk last name.
Yeah. But that's not the world we live in right now.
Right.
6 schools in 8 years, man. Wiley or Stover?
I lean Wiley for the impact in the passing game.
Okay.
Out of those two players.
Nothing more at tackle. I mean, Javon Foster, Christian Jones. I don't think so.
I would be surprised, although I was surprised to see DJ, I think, had Christian Jones in his top 75, top 100. Okay. I just think that there's too many tackles. Too many teams will have addressed tackle at that point to reach on that player, I think.
On the interior, Christian Mahogany, Isaiah Adams, I don't feel overly strong there. Limmer, Bortolini, Van Pran, I don't think so.
Mahogany's got some fans.
Well, he's a baller. He's just, the injury stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. So then the interior defensive line is Mason Smith. We have nothing at linebacker.
Nothing.
Thank God we put those 3 in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd be sitting here looking at 3 guys.
Right.
I don't know. I think there's some interesting names at safety with Tyke Smith and Cam Kinchins, too.
And Adrian Taylor Demerson.
Right. And we didn't mention Ketan Oladapo.
No.
Either.
You have any convictions?
I think the best player that does not have character concerns is Oladapo for me.
You're coming over just out of nowhere.
I mean, here's where it made me feel a little bit better. ESPN Analytics does their I don't put too much stock into percentage available at pick XYZ or whatever, but that has Oladapo as a top 90 player in the class.
Should we just be picking a player at a more likely position though?
Probably. You should probably go with a premium position or play the numbers game at tight end and say we need to get another tight end, and just because they usually are popular day 2 picks. I think we'd have enough wide receivers that the only way you would justify adding another wide receiver is to say, oh, we'll shotgun shell approach it. We'll get as many of them as we can and play the odds game that they're all going to get drafted.
We're doing so good on time, man.
For the second time, Joe and I had to pause. Get ourselves together. We're doing good on time, as Joe was saying, as we paused before coming back. But we deliberated off air, and for the sake of time, we saved you guys all that conversation. We went with Jalen Wright, the running back from Tennessee, as the last on, and the thought process being we only had 3 running backs, and I think the lowest in the last 5 years at running back was 5. So that would have been an all-time low over a 5-year sample size. So we put Jalen Wright on to kind of round that number up a little bit. So quickly, to bring us home, Joe, we are going to alternate by position and confirm the players who are on our predictive top 100 for this year's draft.
All right, let's do it. Quarterback, Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, Drake Maye, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Spencer Rattler.
Running back is Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Jonathan Brooks, and Jalen Wright.
Wide receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Nabers, Rome Odunze, Xavier Leggett, Brian Thomas, Adonai Mitchell, Ricky Pearsall, Lad McConkey, Xavier Worthy, Jalen Polk, Roman Wilson, Troy Franklin, Malachi Corley, Keon Coleman, Jalen McMillan, Devontae Walker, Javon Baker.
Is that it? That's all?
A couple of those are going to be Bills. You know what I
mean? Tight end, 4. I like how we set this up, and I got 4 player position groups that alternate. Brock Bowers, Ben Sinnott, Theo Johnson, and Jatavian Sanders at tight end.
Offensive tackle, Joe Alt, Troy Fatanu, Amarius Mims, Olu Fashanu, Talise Fuaga, J.C. Latham, Tyler Guyton, Kingsley Suamayata. Good Lord, Kyle. How did I get these guys? Roger Rosengarten, the Yale tackle, Kieran
Amagaze.
Patrick Paul, Blake Fisher, Jordan Morgan, Brandon Coleman.
Interior offensive line. You already mentioned Talise Fuaga. So Graham Barton, Zach Frazier, Jackson Powers Johnson, Christian Haynes, Cooper Beebe, Dominic Pooney, Mason McCormick, and Brandon Coleman.
Okay, I have Coleman as a tackle, so just as administrative, we're good.
Yep.
Edge, Leitu Latu, Dallas Turner, Jared Verse, Chop Robinson, Marshawn Nealand, Mo Kamara, Austin Booker, Darius Robinson, Chris Braswell, Jonah Ellis, Adisa Isaac.
Interior defensive line is Byron Murphy, Johnny Newton, Michael Hall, Brandon Dorless, Rook Ororho, Chris Jenkins, Braden Fisk. Why'd you let that? And that was always set on.
All right. Linebacker, Peyton Wilson, Jr., Colson, Edgerrin Cooper, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Cedric Gray, Trevin Wallace.
Cornerbacks, a whole bunch of them. We got 17. Quinyon Mitchell, Terrion Arnold, Nate Wiggins, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Mike Sandersill, TJ Tampa, Renardo Green, Ennis Rakestraw, Max Melton, Chris Abrams Drain, Elijah Jones, Cam Hart, Kamari Lassiter, Cameron Richardson, DJ James, and Andrew Phillips, plus Kayla Carson. Sorry.
Safety, Cooper DeJean, Javon Bullard, Jaden Hicks, Tyler Nubin, Cole Bishop, Kalen Bullock.
And that is Locked On NFL Scouting's predictive top 100 for the 2024 NFL Draft. That is going to do it for us. I'm getting out of here before the 37-minute mark before Ross freaks out as we already went long. Apologies for Ross for going long. Thanks for everybody listening. You can catch on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. See you later.